Hey everybody, welcome back to 2 Acres Evolving. Today I have a few maintenance things that I need to get done. The first thing that I need to do is come through and prune all of my roses. I have this one in the front yard, and then I have 3 David Austin roses in the backyard. Gator. Okay, come on. Let's go inside. Come on. I have these rose bushes that need to be pruned up. I have this one in my front yard, and then I have 3 David Austin roses that I'm going to be pruning in the backyard. I probably should have came in and pruned these a little bit sooner, but I wanted to show you all how I do it, so it's not looking the greatest. The David Austin roses in the back look a lot better, but this one has this one bloom that is not looking all that great. So I'm going to come in and prune these, and then I have some Leggy Supertunias that I need to cut back, and then I'm going to be fixing a section of drip tubing in my pond area. But before I get into all this, I wanted to mention something real quick. Someone reached out to me recently and asked me how much it was to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I did not even think about the word subscribing, meaning that you had to pay monthly or make a payment to subscribe to my channel. So I wanted to make sure that anybody that didn't know out there, subscribing to a YouTube channel is absolutely free. All it does is support the YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet and you would like to, make sure to click that red subscribe button and hit that notification bell, and that'll notify you each time I upload a video. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started, so let me get you a little bit closer to this rose bush and I'll show you what I do. Alright, so this rose bush over here has no blooms. It just has the one old bloom that you saw in the back. It has all these dead heads on it, and if I were to leave it like this, I wouldn't get any more blooms. So what I want to do is go in and cut all these off so that the plant has enough energy to create more blooms. And what you want to do when you're cutting these off is you want to go down to the nearest branch with 5 leaves. If I were to cut this off at the nearest branch with just 3 leaves, like that, what'll happen is a new branch will grow from that area, and it will create a non-flowering branch. So in order to get a flowering branch, what you have to do is you have to cut it back to the nearest set of 5 leaves. So I'm just going to come in here, and another thing that you want to make sure you do is you want to cut it at a 5-leaf branch that's facing outward and not in towards the plant, so that the stem will grow out. So I'm just going to come in here and cut it at an angle, just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and prune the rest of this one and then move to the backyard and prune those, and then I can get started on the Supertunias. Alright, so I have this one done now, and it looks a whole lot better without all those dead heads all over it. So now I'll just give this a couple weeks and it'll be full of blooms, and I'll make sure to keep you all updated on it and show you what it looks like. So now I'm going to go ahead and move back to the David Austin roses in the backyard and get those done. Alright, I hope you can see this alright, but I have this branch right here with a dead head on it. So I'm just going to go back to the first set of 5 leaves. This one has 3, so this one has 5, and the leaves are pointing out. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this one at an angle. And I've actually got a bloom starting on this one, so I'm definitely going to leave that one alone. But then I have this one, and you can also, if you want to size control these, you don't have to go to the first set of 5 leaves. You can actually go down to the second set of 5 leaves as well. All right, so the next thing that I need to do is I need to come in and cut back these Leggy Supertunias. Supertunias are supposed to mound up like this, and that one over there. These look awesome. But this one over here, I was thinking that maybe it wasn't getting enough water. However, there's a drip tube that's running right by it, so it's definitely getting enough water. So what we need to do is we need to cut these back so that they'll rebound and come back up in a mound and a lot fuller than this. I have a Supertunia up in my front yard that looked just like this. It was real leggy and it wasn't mounding and it wasn't full at all. And I cut it back and it's rebounding really nicely. I'll show you a picture of it and so you can see what it looks like. And that one I cut back about 2 weeks ago. So it doesn't take them a whole lot of time to rebound. So eventually this one will catch up with these two. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this back, and then I have a couple in containers that I need to cut back, and then we can get started on the drip tubing. All right, so I have this one trimmed up now, and it doesn't take very long at all. It took me less than a minute to come in and trim this up. And I left some of the blooms on here just so there's a little bit of color on it. But I'll give this about a couple of weeks and it should be mounding up perfectly like these two. So now let's go ahead and go over to the container ones and I'll get those trimmed up. All right, these were quite a bit worse than the ones in the ground over by my pond, so I had to cut them back a little bit harder. I left some of the blooms on there, but most of them had to go. So now I'll just make sure these get consistent water, and within a couple weeks, these should rebound nicely. Now, while we're on the subject of Supertunias, I want to take you out front real quick and show you one of the Supertunias that are doing really awesome. All right, this one is doing amazing. Most of the Supertunias are doing really well. There was just the few leggy ones that I had to take care of, but most of them are doing really well, but this one is doing the best out of all of them. I measured this one the other day and it is 3 feet wide and about a foot tall. It's probably a little bit taller than that now, but this one is doing amazing. So I wanted to come in and show you the potential of these Supertunias. If you need something that gets big really fast, definitely go with the Supertunia Vista. This one is called Supertunia Vista Snowdrift, but there's several different ones in the Vista line. I will absolutely be using these in the future. So now the last thing that I need to do is go in and fix some drip tubing out by the pond area. So let's go back there and get that done. All right, so as you can see, the Supertunia in the back and the Supertunia in the front of the pond are doing really well. I have a drip tubing that's going behind the pond and one that's going in the front, but I don't have one that's going in the middle to get that middle Supertunia. The only water that one's getting is the splashing from the water wheel. So you can see that all the blooms are facing towards the pond and there's none coming out on the outside of the pond. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to cut into the drip line in the back, run a line back on the side of the Supertunias, and then connect it back to itself in the front. And this will help get water to the middle plant so it'll be a lot fuller and not just on one side. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. All right, so what I'm going to be doing now is I'm just going to get the existing drip tubing and pull it up, and then I'll make sure it's, I need to make sure it's all clean so I don't get any dirt in it. And then I'm just going to go in. There's an emitter right here, so I want to make sure that I cut in between emitters. So I'm going to cut it about right here, and then I'll cut it right here, and then I'm going to be using a T connector to connect each end, and then to connect it to the new line. So I've got the main line connected now, so now I'll connect the new line. And then I'll run it to the other end over there. So let me go ahead and move you over there. The sun's beating down on this area pretty hard, so I'm going to try to keep the shadows and everything off of it so you can see. But I'm basically going to do the same thing. There's an emitter right there. I'm going to come in, clean this off, and I'm going to cut it right here and right there. And then I'll use the second T connector to connect it all back. And then I'll hold it down in place with landscaping staples. So now that I have this line run in here, I'll just move it up close to the Supertunia, staple it in. So now this plant will get plenty of water. All right, that's it for this project. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you in the next one.